Hello everyone and welcome to Serendipity in Quarantine. Today we are going to study about Indian soil system. So let's begin. So soil is a resource which is a renewable and natural resource, and it is the medium of plant growth. At the same time, it provides support to different types of living organism. So basically soil is also a living system. It takes millions of years to form up, but only few centimeters in depth. For example, there are different types of reliefs, parent rocks or bed rocks, also climate, vegetations, and other form of life and time, which are the important factors in the formation of soil. Here we can see that this is the unweathered parent bedrock. Then after some weatherization process, there is substratum weathered parent rock material, and on it there is subsoil weathered rock, sand and silt clay, and at the topmost there is topsoil and the upper soil layer. So this topsoil layer depends upon what type of parent rock is there, what kind of weatherization is formed on this soil, and also what are the plantations over this soil. So soil also consists of organic humus and inorganic materials. So on the basis of factor responsible for soil formation, its color, thickness, texture, age, and chemical and physical properties are dependent. So on this type, we have classified the soils into following types. So India has varied relief features, landforms and climate trends. So first we will be seeing alluvial soil. So alluvial soil is the most widely spread, and it is one of the important soil. It looks like this. It is the most fertile soil, and it is mainly based on the deposition of three important Himalayan rivers like Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. And alluvial soil is also found in the eastern coastal plains of Godavari and Krishna. So here you can see this is alluvial soil. So it is mainly in the northern plain belt of India, and then it extends towards Gujarat and even some parts of Rajasthan and in northeastern area. So it is the most fertile soil. It has various proportion of sand, silt and clay, and as we move inland towards the river valley, the soil particles appear somewhat bigger in size. So in the upper reaches of the river valley, that is near the place of the breaks of the slope, the soil are coarse, and these such soils are more common in pediment plains such as Duars, Chos and Terai. So here in this image we can roughly see that these are Himalayas from which rivers originate. So this river originate and it again disappears in Bhabar region. Then it re-emerge in Terai region, which is marshy and swampy land, and then it flows towards the northern plains. So this is the river valley, and on the river valley both side we see new alluvial soil, which is the most fertile soil known as Khadar, and from some distance from it we see old alluvial soil that is known as Bangar, and it is the old alluvial soil containing calcareous rock known as Kankad. So this Bangar soil has high concentration of Kankar nodules that are than Khadar, and Khadar has fine particles and is more fertile than Bangar. So alluvial soil as a whole are fertile, and it contains adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which are ideal for growth of sugarcane, paddy, wheat and other cereals and pulse crops. And due to its high fertility, this region is highly cultivated and densely populated. Then comes black soil. So as the name suggests, it is black in color, and it is also known as Regar soil. So black soil is ideal for growing cotton, hence it is also known as black cotton soil. So it is generating from parent rock of the Deccan Trap, that is basalt rock, and it has igneous origin. So black cotton soil is majorly found in the Deccan Plateau, that is in states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, etc. Then it is also found in Malwa Plateau, Saurashtra and Chhattisgarh. The main rivers in the black soil are Godavari and Krishna valleys. This is what black soil looks like. It is mainly made up of extremely clayey material, and it is well known for its capacity to hold moisture. At the same time, when it is dry, it creates cracks by itself, so it is self plowing. So this helps in aeration of the soil. It contains nutrients like calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. So these soils are generally poor in phosphoric content, so hence they develop deep cracks. So this work so when the soil is sticky and when it is wet, and it is difficult to work on unless tilled immediately after the first shower during the pre-monsoon period. The next is red and yellow soil. So red and yellow soil is generally, it envelopes black cotton soil. As here in this map we can see that this is black cotton soil region, and around it there is red and yellow soil. So as its name suggests, it is both red and yellow in color. So when it is in hydrated form, it is of yellow color, and because of the presence of iron particles and iron crystals, it is reddish in color. So this soil develop reddish color due to diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rock. It is majorly found in states of Odisha, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, etc. Then this region is not as fertile as alluvial soil. Then comes laterite soil. So it comes from Latin word called later, means brick. So laterite soil is red in color, and it usually develops in tropical and subtropical climate with alternate wet and dry season. It is mostly acidic in nature, that means its pH is less than 6, and it is generally deficient in plant nutrients and occurs mostly in southern states, Western Ghat region, Maharashtra, Odisha, and some parts of West Bengal. So here we can see laterite soil. It is also found in coastal regions. This soil is rich in humus, but under sparse conditions it is not as fertile, so it is found in semi-arid environment. But after adopting the appropriate soil conservation techniques, particularly in hilly areas, the soil is also very useful in growing tea and coffee plantation. And in case of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala, more suitable crops like cashew nuts, tapioca are grown here. Then we see arid soils. So arid soils are, they range from red to brown in color. They are usually sandy in texture. They have high content of salt, and from hence the common salt is obtained by evaporating water from these soils. So these soils lack humus and moisture, hence not suitable for plantation. And also they are at the lower horizon of these soils are occupied by concord, that are calcium content soils. So this concord layer but forms at the bottom of the horizons, and it restricts infiltration of the water. So hence, if the proper irrigation is provided to this soil, then even this arid soil can become cultivable. Then the last one is forest soil. So this forest soil are usually found in hilly and mountainous area, and where they have sufficient rain and forest is available. There are loamy and silty in valley sides and coarse grains on the upper slope. And when there is snow covered area like Himalayas, they are usually acidic with low humus content. So the soil found in the lower parts of the valley, particularly on the river terrace, are alluvial fans, and they are fertile. Now we will be seeing what is soil erosion and how the soil can be conserved. So the denudation of the soil cover and subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. But usually after soil erosion there is process of soil generation, and there is balance between two. But sometimes this balance is disturbed due to the human activities like deforestation, overgrazing, construction and mining, etc. While there are some natural factors for erosion like wind, glacier, water. So these natural forces are also cause the soil erosion. For example, running water cuts through clayey soil and makes deep channel like these gullies. So these are known as gullies. And if the land becomes unfit for cultivation, then it can be called as bad land. For example, in case of Chambal river basin, such land are known as ravines. And sometimes the water flows the upper sheet over the area of sand. This top soil is washed away. So this is known as soil erosion, sheet erosion. These erosion are formed because of human activities. For example, defective methods of farming, like plowing is done in wrong way, like up and down in the slope from channel. So there is quick flow of water. To deal with that, there can be done counter plowing, so that the contour lines are made along the flow of water, so water flow decreases. There is also option of terrace cultivation in case of hilly regions. Then there is strip cropping, like strips of different crops and grass is grown to prevent soil from eroding. Then there are shelter beds. These are mostly in arid region and sandy coastal areas where rows of trees are planted, so that the sand dunes are stabilized, and the desert area also see less of soil erosion. So this was the end of soil chapter. Hope this video was helpful. These are some of the multiple choice questions which you can solve, and you can comment the answers in this video. Thank you for watching this video. I'll keep this video running for 5 seconds. You can take screenshot of these questions. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon.